Everyone, in this video we will discuss about adolescence, its meaning and characteristics. So first of all we will discuss about the meaning and importance of adolescence. So the word adolescence has been derived from Latin word adolescere, which means to grow to maturity. So it has been derived from Latin word adolescere, which means to grow to maturity or to reach at the level of maturity. A person becomes able to procreate this age. So a person is able to procreate this age. Procreate means the ability to come forward or to come forth. According to Silt, adolescence is the period through which a grown person makes transition from childhood to maturity. And according to Blair, Jones and Simpson, adolescence is that period in a person's life that begins at the end of childhood and finishes into adulthood. सो एडोलसेंट जो है ब्लेयर जोन्स और सिम्पसन के अकॉर्डिंग वो पीरियड है एक इंसान की एक पर्सन की लाइफ का जिसमें जो स्टार्ट होता है चाइल्डहुड के एंड पर और उसकी स्टार्टिंग होती है चाइल्डहुड के एंड पर और वो ख़त्म होता है जब अडल्टहुड की बिगनिंग हो रही होती है, स्टार्टिंग हो रही होती है. वेरियस साइकोलॉजिस्ट हैव डिस्क्राइब वेरियस व्यूज़ अबाउट द कमेंसमेंट एंड एंड ऑफ एडोलसेंस. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू डिफरेंट साइकोलॉजिस्ट they have described their views regarding the starting and ending of adolescence. Generally the stage is considered as from 12 years to 18 years of age. So generally ये age जो है adolescent की वो 12 से 18 साल की आयु सीमा के अंतर्गत आती है. In fact, the age of commencement of this stage depends on sex, race, climate, culture, health, etc. So जो स्टार्टिंग होती है एडोलसेंस की ये डिपेंड करती है फैक्टर्स पे जो कि हैं सेक्स यानी कि जेंडर, रेस, उसकी जो रेस है या क्या प्रजाति है, क्लाइमेट जो वहाँ का क्लाइमेट है, कल्चर, हेल्थ एक्सेट्रा. इन इंडिया दिस स्टेज बिगिनस अर्लियर दैन द वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज़ विद कोल्ड क्लाइमेट. और इंडिया में एडोलसेंस की जो एज है वो जल्दी स्टार्ट हो जाती है वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज़ के मुकाबले जहाँ पे कोल्ड क्लाइमेट होता है, क्योंकि जो क्लाइमेट होता है वो हार्मोन पे इम्पैक्ट डालता है. अगर जो हॉट क्लाइमेट होता है वहाँ पे जो रहने वाले जो इंडिविजुअल्स होते हैं उनकी जो हार्मोनल जो सिक्रीशन होता है वो फास्ट हो जाता है, जिस वजह से जो डेवलपमेंट है वो फास्ट हो जाता है. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इट इज़ seen that the boys in with the hormonal changes are able to grow mustache and the girls begin to develop body organs which gives them womanly look. So this stage occupies an important place in the development of human life because in this period revolutionary changes takes place in the physical, mental, social and emotional development of adolescence. So जो ये adolescence का period है ये बहुत important प्लेस जो है कैरी करता है ह्यूमन लाइफ की डेवलपमेंट में, क्योंकि इस पीरियड में रेवोल्यूशनरी चेंजेस जो होते हैं फिज़िकल में, चाहे उनके फिज़िकल यानी कि बॉडी पार्ट्स में या मेंटल या उनकी जो मानसिक गतिविधि है उसमें, सोशल एंड इमोशनल. क्योंकि जो एडोलसेंट का पीरियड होता है उसमें जो एडोलसेंट होता है वो सोसाइटी से ज़्यादा इंटरेक्ट करना स्टार्ट कर देता है. ये एक सोसाइटी में उसका एक अपनी एक इंडिविजुअल पर्सनैलिटी डेवलप होने लग जाती है और उसका जो अपने जो पीयर है और ग्रुप है उसमें ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्वमेंट बढ़ जाता है. तो इसमें एक सोसाइटी इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करती है एडोलसेंट की लाइफ में. एक उसका एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट पोर्शन कैरी करती है एडोलसेंट की लाइफ का. एंड इमोशनल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एडोलसेंट, और इसमें बहुत इमोशनल डेवलपमेंट्स जो होते हैं, मूड स्विंग्स जिसे हम कहते हैं, वो होने शुरू हो जाते हैं एडोलसेंस के पीरियड में. अकॉर्डिंग टू बिग एंड हंट द वन विच बेस्ट कैरेक्टराइजेज adolescence is change. The change is philosophical, sociological and psychological. The boys and girls experience new vigor and amazing swiftness during adolescence. So during the period of adolescence there are many swift or fast changes during the period of adolescence, and the boys and girls experience new amazing and fast changes during adolescence. New desires and new ambitions arouse in them rapidly. So they are filled with new desires and ambitions, and the new feelings and spirits move them, and they are moved by the new feelings, the desire to do something new, and the new feelings are filled in them along with new spirits, and they are moved by them. Their interests undergo a change due to the development of body and mind, and the interest which they perceive undergoes a vast change due to the development of body and mind, and due to the development of body and mind their interests go undergo several changes. Imaginations occupy their minds, and their minds are occupied by imaginations. The signs of adulthood appear in them. और जो अर्ली साइंस होता है अडल्टहुड के, फॉर एग्जाम्पल द बॉयज टेंड टू ग्रो mustache and the girls tend to grow the body parts which give them more womanly look, and these are earlier signs of adulthood. And even the mental and emotional changes, these signs are seen in them. Their emotional balance ceases due to the physical changes. They feel restless and unstable, and there has been several emotional changes which ceases due to the physical changes. They feel restless, and this is the period of instability, because in their life they are filled with emotional disbalance, and several there's instability in their feelings, and due to that this period is known as period of restlessness and instability. They face tension and mental struggle, and because there are so much pressure on them, because of that they face tension and mental struggle. So Stanley Hall has said adolescence is a period of great stress and strain, storm and opposition. According to Crow and Crow, youth represents energy of the present and the hope of the future. Kilpatrick has said that there cannot be a difference of opinion that adolescence is the most difficult period of life. Characteristics of adolescence. So adolescents have several characteristics, and the first characteristic is that adolescence is a transitional period. ट्रांजिशनल पीरियड जो होता है वो एक पीरियड से जो दूसरे पीरियड पे जब जो चेंज आ रहा होता है, जो एक पीरियड से दूसरे पीरियड में जो मूवमेंट होता है उसको हम ट्रांजिशन कहते हैं. एडोलसेंस इज और जो एडोलसेंस जो होता है, क्योंकि वो चाइल्डहुड से अडल्टहुड के बीच के जो मूवमेंट होता है, जो चेंज होता है, जो ना उसमें बच्चा चाइल्ड ही रहता है या ना ही अडल्ट रहता है, एक वो जो बीच की पोजीशन आ जाती है जिसमें वो चेंज कर रहा होता है अपने आप को, अपना फेस चेंज कर रहा होता है. इसलिए एडोलसेंस भी जो है एक ट्रांजिशनल पीरियड है. ड्यूरिंग एनी ट्रांजिशनल पीरियड द इंडिविजुअल स्टेटस इज वेक एंड देयर इज कन्फ्यूजन अबाउट द रोल्स द इंडिविजुअल इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू प्ले. सो जो ट्रांजिशनल पीरियड होता है उसमें इंडिविजुअल का जो स्टेटस होता है वे यानी कि अनसर्टेन होता है, और उसमें कन्फ्यूजन रहती है. जो रोल्स हैं इंडिविजुअल को प्ले जो वो एक्सपेक्ट किए जाते हैं उसमें जो है उसमें उसे कन्फ्यूजन रहती है, क्योंकि उसमें प्रेशर ही इतना रहता है कि उस जो होता है सोसाइटियल प्रेशर या फिर जो पेरेंटियल प्रेशर है या पीयर प्रेशर है, तो इस वजह से जो उसके जो रोल्स होते हैं वो मल्टी डायमेंशनल हो जाते हैं. इस वजह से उसमें कन्फ्यूजन आ जाती है. द एडोलसेंट एट दिस टाइम इज़ नीदर अ चाइल्ड नॉर एन अडल्ट. तो इस पीरियड में जो एडोलसेंट होता है वो ना ही एक प्रॉपर चाइल्ड ही हम उसे कह सकते हैं, ना ही हम उसे अडल्ट ही कह सकते हैं. इफ़ दे बिहेव लाइक चिल्ड्रन दे आर टोल्ड टू एक्ट देयर एज. अगर वो बच्चों की तरह बिहेव करने लग जाते हैं तो उन्हें जो उनके एल्डर्स हैं वो कहते हैं कि अपनी एज के अकॉर्डिंग बिहेव करो. इफ़ दे ट्राई टू एक्ट लाइक अडल्ट्स दे आर ऑफ्टन अक्यूज्ड ऑफ बीइंग टू बिग फॉर देयर एज. लेकिन अगर वो अपनी एज से जो मेच्योर, अगर हम मेच्योर वो ज़्यादा एक्ट करने लग जाते हैं या ज़्यादा उनमें जो है इस तरह की सीरियसनेस आ जाती है, तो फिर उनको बोला जाता है कि तुम अपनी एज से जो है कुछ ज़्यादा ही बड़ा एक्ट कर रहे हो. एडोलसेंस एंड सेकेंड the characteristic of adolescence is a period of change. So adolescence जो है वो एक, क्योंकि ट्रांजिशनल पीरियड है इसलिए वो एक चेंज का पीरियड है. इसमें चेंज स्विफ्ट चेंजेस आते हैं, फास्ट चेंजेस आते हैं, रैपिड चेंजेस आते हैं एक इंडिविजुअल के बॉडी, माइंड और बिहेवियर में. ड्यूरिंग अर्ली एडोलसेंस व्हेन फिजिकल चेंजेस आर रैपिड, चेंजेस इन एटीट्यूड एंड बिहेवियर आर आल्सो रैपिड. क्योंकि उसमें फिजिकल चेंजेस जो होते हैं वो बहुत फास्ट होते हैं, इस वजह से जो उसके एटीट्यूड और बिहेवियर में जो चेंजेस होते हैं वो भी रैपिड होते हैं. Due to sexual maturity, they have feeling of instability which are often intensified by the ambiguous treatment they received from their parents and teachers. So क्योंकि ये एक सेक्सुअल मैच्योरिटी का जो पीरियड होता है, इसलिए जो उनकी फीलिंग्स जो होती है वो इनस्टेबल होती है, क्योंकि उनके इमोशनल जो होता है वो इनस्टेबल होते हैं और वो ज़्यादा वो बढ़ जाते हैं, क्योंकि जो एम्बिगुअस ट्रीटमेंट जो कि वो एक अनक्लियर ट्रीटमेंट जो कि उनके पेरेंट्स के द्वारा और टीचर्स जो अननेसेसरी प्रेशर जो डाल दिया जाता है, जो अननेसेसरी ट्रीटमेंट वो फेस करते हैं, जो उन्हें ट्रीटमेंट मिलता है अपने पेरेंट्स और टीचर्स के थ्रू, जो एक एक्सटर्नल प्रेशर जो है उन पे लगता है, उस वजह से जो है उनकी जो इंस्टेबिलिटी है वो ज़्यादा इंटेंसीफाई हो जाती है. चेंजेस इन देयर बॉडीज़, इंटरेस्ट, सोशल ग्रुप्स, एक्सपेक्टेशंस क्रिएट न्यू प्रॉब्लम. और क्योंकि इस पीरियड में चेंजेस होते हैं, ये ट्रांजिशनल पीरियड है, चेंज का पीरियड है, इसलिए उनकी जो बॉडी, इंटरेस्ट और सोशल ग्रुप, उनके फ्रेंड सर्कल में भी चेंजेस आ जाते हैं और न्यू एक्सपेक्टेशंस, उससे नई एक्सपेक्टेशंस जो है वो उनके टीचर्स और जो पेरेंट्स हैं वो उनसे रखते हैं, उनसे नई अपेक्षाएं रखते हैं और ये जो है उनकी नई प्रॉब्लम बन जाती है. देयर वैल्यू सिस्टम चेंज एज इंटरेस्ट एंड बिहेवियर पैटर्न चेंजेस, दे ट्राई टू एक्ट इंडिपेंडेंटली and their value system changes. The values which were previously installed in them are seen changed, and the behavior pattern of an adolescent changed due to the mood swings, and they try to act more independently and more maturely. They try to act in an independent way. The third characteristic is that it is a period of peer influence. The period of adolescence is full of social circle and the new friendships and the involvement of friends in the life of an individual. So adolescents need frequent validation by others and they desperately seek peer affiliation and acceptance. So जो adolescents होते हैं उनको इनको वैलिडेशन चाहिए होता है, जो भी वो चीज़ें करते हैं अपनी लाइफ में, और वो डेस्परेटली जो है पीयर ग्रुप से एक्सेप्टेंस और एफिलिएशन के जो है वैलिडेशन के लिए उसके पीछे जो है वो भागते रहते हैं. दे आर फियर्सली लॉयल टू पीयर ग्रुप values and peers' opinions become the most influential and guide the flow of their life. So the values of their friends and their opinions become the most influential and serve as a guide in the flow of their life. So they are moved by the values of their friends and their opinions, therefore they are unstable with regard to group expectations and pressures. So they are unstable because they run behind the expectations which are expected from them by their friends and for the peer affiliation and acceptance, and due to that their life is full of instability, and because their life is involved with group expectations and pressures. So fourth characteristic is physical development during adolescence. So there are several physical developments during the period of adolescence, as we have discussed earlier, that the boys tend to grow mustache and height, and the girls display the changes in body which give them a more womanly look. The physical development is very rapid during adolescence. So the development of physical is rapid during the period of adolescence. The girls lead the boys in the height and weight at the age of 11 to 12 years. So जो गर्ल्स होती हैं वो लीड करती हैं बॉयज़ को हाइट और वेट में, जो 11 से 12 साल की जो आयु सीमा है उसमें. However, at the age of 14 to 15 years, the boys gain physical growth tremendously and they gain more weight and height than girls. लेकिन जो 14 से 15 साल की जो आयु सीमा होती है उसमें जो बॉयज़ है वो रैपिड चेंज दिखाते हैं और वो सडन चेंज दिखाते हैं, ट्रेमेंडस चेंज दिखाते हैं. फिजिकल जो ग्रोथ होती है उनमें जो वो ज़्यादा हाइट और वेट गेन कर लेते हैं गर्ल्स के मुकाबले. बिटवीन द एजेस ऑफ 15 to 19 years the boys becomes heavier and taller than girls. So between the ages of 15 to 19 the boys becomes more heavier and taller than girls. The girls attain their full height at the age of 16, while the boys do it at the end of adolescence. So the girls reach the maximum height at the age of 16, while the boys attain the maximum height at the end of their adolescence period. Mental or intellectual development during adolescence. So the another characteristic is the mental or intellectual development during the period of adolescence. The characteristics of adolescence related to mental or intellectual aspect as follows. So The characteristics of adolescents related to their mental or intellectual activities are as follows. The first characteristic is maximum development of intellect. So this is the period where they get where the intellect or the intellectual ability get the maximum development, as intellect develops to its maximum possible. In this period, the intellect developed to its maximum possible. It is said that intellect fully develops during the age of 16 years. After that, the adolescent learns from experience. So, this up till 16 years, their intellect attains the maximum development, and after that, the adolescent learns from their experiences. And the second characteristic of mental and intellectual development during adolescence is that development of reasoning and abstract thinking. So in this period, they tend to think more logically, and they tend to do more mathematical calculations, which develop their abstract thinking. So the adolescent boys and girls do not agree with anything immediately, rather they argue about it and accept a contention on its basis alone. So this is the period of disagreement, and when they tend to develop more logically and logically and scientifically, they have several disagreements, and they do not agree easily, and they argue about it and accept a contention on its basis alone. And contention means disagreement, and they disagree with anything which is placed before them, and they tend to think more logically, and rather than immediately accepting any concept, they argue about it. Naughtiness disappears during the stage, and they begin to think abstractly about various things. So the naughtiness disappears in their behavior, and they begin to think more abstractly about various things. The third characteristic of mental and intellectual development is that development of attention and permanent memory. So the attention, the focus level in them increases to the most, and whatever they learn, it becomes a permanent part of their memory. So the boys and girls develop the power to keep their attention fixed on anything during adolescence. So their attention during the period of adolescence is fixed on anything which is taught to them. They also develop permanent memory in them. So the permanence in memory is also developed in this period. They are able to memorize soon, and they can retain it for longer. And whatever they memorize, they tend to memorize it for a longer period. Now they make a thing part of their memory rather than learning it by rote. So whatever they learn, it becomes a part of their memory rather than learning it by rote. Rote learning means learning by repetition. For example, when a small child, when a concept is taught to them, like in the primary level, they learn it by rote learning, by repeating what the concept is given to him or her, and it is done through cramming the question and answers or whatever is taught to him, rather than learning by explanation, or learning by explanation और उसको समझ के पढ़ना. जैसे कि रोट लर्निंग, अगर हम उसको रोट लर्निंग को समझना चाहे, तो रोट लर्निंग का मतलब होता है कि रिपीट करके किसी चीज़ को पढ़ना, जैसे छोटे बच्चे पढ़ते हैं, या फिर एग्ज़ाम्स के टाइम पे जो है ताकि अच्छे मार्क्स आए, इसलिए रोट लर्निंग करी जाती है, रिपीट करके पढ़ा जाता है उस कॉन्सेप्ट को, ताकि जो है ज़्यादा हम उस कंटेंट को हम ज़्यादा डिस्क्राइब कर पाएँ, और ज़्यादा वोकैबलरी मतलब जो बुकिश वोकैबलरी है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली हम उसको लिख पाएँ. फोर्थ point is the development of debate and argument. As we have discussed earlier, that this period is about disagreement and argument. So as a result of it, the debate and argument ability develops in the Adolescents. So the adolescents develop the ability to debate and argue. This establish their identity on the basis of their thoughts and are ready to think about their standards and patterns and debate on them. So the ability to debate and argue developed during this period, and this established their identity on the basis of their thoughts, and they are able to put their thoughts, their unique ideas at fore or at the front, and are ready to think about it, and now they are ready to think about the standards that at which place or which um, embarkment they stand upon, and the patterns and their thinking patterns, they now tend to know that what thinking ability is present in them, and they debate upon, and now they know their thinking pattern, and they debate on that pattern, on that standard, according to their standard. And fifth point is the development of interest. So the interests develop rapidly during adolescence. These interests are of the following types. So they tend to develop several interests during the period of adolescence, and these interests are following. The boys and girls have more interest in reading. They pass most of their time in reading stories, novels, poetry, plays, scientific literature, sports literature, etc. So the reading abilities developed in them during this period. They start taking interest in reading, and they spend most of their time in reading stories, novels, poetry, plays, scientific literature, sports literature, etc. The adolescent also take interest in sports. The boys play collective games such as football, cricket, kabaddi, etc., while the girls display their interest in dance and music, etc. So they start taking interest in their hobbies and in co-curricular activities such as sports, and the boys play collective games such as football, cricket, kabaddi, while the girls display their interest in dance and music. And they also stick interest in watching television, films, and listening to radio. The habit of watching television is increasing rapidly in India, and they also display the interest in watching television, films, and listening to radio programs. And the habit of watching television is rapidly increasing in India.